Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Marie, and for today's video I am going to be talking about tips and tricks for you to do to prepare for a upcoming deployment. So hopefully it helps everything go smoothly. We have dealt with a deployment before, so if you're interested in hearing about how that deployment went, then I will make sure that I link the video down below. But yeah, I just kind of thought I would share some of the tips that I did for last time that worked really well for me and that I plan on doing this time, and then some new ones that I've thought of that I think will hopefully help me as well. So let's just go ahead and get this video started. So before I start reading off my little notebook here, I've got some stuff written down so that way I don't forget any of the things I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to mention real quick that obviously these are my own opinions, and what worked for me might not work for you, and what worked for me last time might not even work for me this time. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. But my first tip is to go buy any medicine you think you may need while your spouse is deployed. So I'm talking, you know, cough medicine, Dayquil, NyQuil, children's Tylenol, anything you think you may need while they are gone. Go get it now, because you do not want to be dealing with a sick child or your sick self and be like, oh my gosh, I need some medicine, open up the drawer and you don't have any, and then you don't have your spouse with you to go get the medicine for you. So I definitely recommend trying to get all that stuff together now. That way when you get sick, your kid gets sick, you already have the stuff with you, and that's just one less headache you have to deal with. One thing that I did for the last deployment, and I am definitely doing it for this deployment as well, is making a cleaning schedule and maintaining my house. And basically what I do is before Brad leaves, I go through our entire house. My cat's running around. I go through our entire house and I deep clean everything, and then I make a schedule of Monday through Sunday, and then I assign a room to a day of the week, and that's what I focus on for that day. So I'll show you guys my schedule so that way you have an idea of kind of how it works. All right, so here is my schedule, and as you can see, I just have a room assigned to a certain day of the week, and then that's the only task that I focus on. I was really struggling with this for our first deployment because I had two very small kids, and I just did not have the time to, you know, scrub the tub and do all the things, but I obviously did not want to be living in a mess. So my mom suggested to me that I just focus on one task a day, and so that's what I did. So Mondays is my living room day, and I clean and organize that room, make sure everything is still good to go. I vacuum the floors and the couch, I Windex the windows and the table, I wash all of the blankets and Febreze the couch, and I Clorox the handles and like just kind of spot clean the walls. And because I'm doing it so frequently, it does not take me long at all. Hi Gunner. You comfy? So it's just kind of to help you not feel so overwhelmed with cleaning, but your house still feels very clean because you are keeping it clean. And then there is a daily cleaning thing that I do. So this is like the daily stuff that I do. If there's laundry that needs to be done, I do that. I do the dishes every day. I change the cat box every day. I wipe down the tables and counters. I tidy up and I spot clean. So basically, just to help you focus on one task a day and not feel so overwhelmed being by yourself and with kids or whatever it may be. One thing that I highly recommend you do, whether you have children or not, is get a daddy doll. We did get this from daddydolls.com, and I will make sure that I link it down below so you can find it easily if you would like. But we have had this since 2014. We got it during Brad's first deployment, and Brody carried this thing around constantly. Peyton was just a newborn at the time, so I would just use it to kind of sit next to her and take pictures and stuff. But I think this is kind of fun for anybody to have, whether you have kids or not, because I think it would be fun to include in pictures and stuff. Let's say, you know, you go visit family to help pass the time, or a vacation. I just think it'd be kind of fun to bring along your husband or wife and have them be participating somehow. So I think this is fun whether you have kids or not. But if you do have kids, I definitely recommend these. They have different sizes. We have the smaller one, but they do have a bigger one that I think maybe comes about up to here. And you can do double-sided or just one side. If you choose to do the one side, I think they just do like some type of fabric pattern that I'm sure you get to choose. And then what they have on their website is like the front will be obviously the front, but when you turn it around to the back, it would be the back side of your soldier. However, I decided to just do the same picture on both sides because I wanted my kids just to be able to pick it up and not worry about having to find where his face is or anything like that. So it was just kind of a convenience thing, but we will be ordering another because Peyton is not a newborn anymore and she definitely wants her own. I do know that ACS gives out free versions of their daddy doll. I'll see if I can find a picture of it, but it's just kind of a little doll that you cut a picture out of your soldier's head and you place it in this little slot that it has, and you have a daddy doll. This one is obviously a little more personalized. I don't remember how much they are off of the top of my head, but not too horribly expensive or anything like that. But if you are wanting something for free, just so you don't even have to worry about it, then the ACS usually does have those to give out. So something to check out. So daddy dolls are something that you can do to help your child, but something else that my mom actually found, she found these on Amazon, and I'll see if I can link them, but she did find them on Amazon, and they're just these little deployment workbooks. She got us 3 of them, and so I'll kind of show you guys them. This one is the activities for kids dealing with deployment, and I'll kind of show you the pages here. So this one kind of, you know, talks about what is a deployment. It's got little activities for them to do, which is great for your child, but I also think this is really great as a parent too, because it asks your kids some questions, such as this one: how do you feel most of the time? Draw a picture of how you feel. There's a couple other things in here too that ask some questions that maybe you wouldn't have even thought to ask, or even if you did ask, maybe your child isn't wanting to come out and say it. They can write and draw their feelings a lot easier than talking about them sometimes. But I think this is so great because there's a page in here that comes to the top of my head. Here it is. So this one says, do you wish you knew more or less about your hero's deployment? What do you wish you knew more about? What do you wish you did not know, and why? So there's definitely some things in here that your child will fill out that you can look at that will give you some insight on how your child is coping, and maybe some things that you can do as well to help them, because there are questions like that in there as well. So I'm really excited to use this time around. I think this is going to be really great for the kids and myself. I think this is going to be a great tool for us to use to help cope with deployment. This next one is this little activity book for deployment, and what's really cool about this one is it actually has different sections. So they have a getting ready for deployment, getting ready for homecoming, and the homecoming. So there's different projects for different things, obviously, and again, I think it is so helpful. Like this page, it gives the kids some ideas of things that they can do when they feel mad, when they feel sad. There's also just some like connect the dot kind of things in here. So it's not all, you know, talking about deployment all the time. It does give them some other little fun activities to do. But yeah, there's just, I think these are so great, and I definitely recommend looking for these if you can. The last one, I haven't really opened this one, but it looks like it's just an activity chart. So I've got up and ready for school, you have checked that off kind of a thing, and it just lets them have something that they get to do and check off their little list as well. So for my next little tips and tricks, I actually didn't do this for my first deployment. My kids were too young anyway, but I think it is important to plan other things to look forward to during the deployment, so that way you are not just looking forward to your spouse coming home. You have little things in between to kind of help pass the time. So I think it would be really fun to plan special outings, or maybe little mini vacations, a weekend getaway, just something small, even something like getting ice cream at the end of the month or something, you know, just to kind of help pass the time and have something else to look forward to. It also could kind of count as a countdown, like once you guys get through a month, you do something special that you all decide on, or at the end of a month, you always go get ice cream or something. So you know you have this many ice creams left until daddy comes home or something to that effect. You can try out new restaurants, and that way when your spouse comes home, you have a list of all of the fun places that you want to take them. Just kind of things like that. Just little things to look forward to, so you're not just focusing on the big, fun, exciting event that seems so dang far away. And then kind of piggybacking onto that one, I definitely recommend making winter, summer, spring, whatever season it is, bucket lists. And then that way during that season, you can kind of check off the list and try to get all of those things done that you're wanting to do. Like I know for the summer, we are gonna want to go to this farm here. I want to go picnicking by the lake with the kids. I want to take them to some fun new parks. We want to go to the zoo. I want to go to a museum in Rochester. Like, I'm just making little things that I want to do, and they can be even as small as, you know, going to take some pictures of the kids or yourself in a pretty field. Just little things like that. Like I said, I just think it's really important to have other little things to look forward to in the grand scheme of things. That way you're not... My cat is talking. I'm in here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Come here. My next little tip and trick is also something that I did not do last time, but I am going to do this time, is write down goals you want to achieve and hobbies you want to try out while your spouse is gone. I know for a lot of people, probably one of their goals is to get fit while their spouse is away. I know that's definitely one of mine. It's just a lot easier to focus on when you don't have somebody who's like, hey, let's get a pizza tonight, babe. So that is one of my goals, is obviously to work on my fitness, but I would also really like to, maybe going back to school, you can, you know, one of your goals could be to get a job while they're gone. You can learn a new language, you know, just kind of little things that you've always wanted to do but haven't really made the time to do. Now is the perfect time for you to do that, because you do have a lot of time, and it's best to keep your time busy. As far as hobbies go, I really enjoy reading, so I would like to read one book at least a month. I'm also a very big Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime watcher, so I really want to shorten my wish list down. I have so many things that I want to watch, and I just feel like I keep adding to it all the time. So I'm gonna make some time to watch that stuff and make my list shrink a little bit. So that is one of my goals and hobbies, I guess. And then something else that I'm planning on doing, I think like once a month, I'm going to go to our local craft store, which is Michael's, and we're just gonna kind of browse the aisles and find a little project for us to do. And it'll just kind of be like a fun outing that we look forward to. We get to choose our own projects and come home, do them, and then we have something to show for it as well, whether we keep it here or send it to Brad or something like that. But I think that will be fun for us to do, and I am really looking forward to doing that with the kids. Another tip I have is to check your expiration dates on everything, and I'm not talking like the milk or food or things like that, but I mean, you know, your car insurance, when you next need an oil change, when your plates expire, when your military ID expires, when your regular ID expires, because I feel like some of those things aren't really things that we think about a whole lot, and I know that's the last thing on my mind when Brad leaves, especially because he is the one that usually does those kinds of things. But after they leave, that's basically going to be the last thing on your mind. I actually just recently went, I think it was like 2 months with my license, my driver's license expired, and I didn't know because I never use it. So I am checking all of my stuff just to make sure that I stay up to date on when things need to be renewed and things like that. So I definitely recommend checking those things before they leave, because you're probably not going to think about it a whole lot once they're gone, because I don't even think about it now. So this next thing, I'm pretty sure all if not all, at least most of the USO centers do, but they have a room where your spouse can go in and record themselves reading a bedtime story for your kids to watch. So I definitely recommend checking that out. I think that would be really special to do, especially if, you know, your spouse isn't able to talk to them at nighttime or something, they can still be a part of the bedtime routine by pre-filming some things. We are actually going to record some of our own things as well. Brad is wanting to record like a good morning message, a have a good day at school kind of message. That way if he's not able to speak to them at those times, he's still participating and they feel his presence as well. So yeah, we're just kind of making a little list of things that we want to pre-record for Brad to record and then that way the kids can have later on, just in case, you know, we're not able to talk to him, because you never know how all that stuff is gonna go. Another thing that I will mention, one of my friends let me know, is that the CYS actually does the 16 hours a month free for daycare. And then I think if you go over the 16, she said that it's like $5 an hour after that. But it starts 30 days prior to deployment and 90 days after deployment. So I definitely recommend doing that before your spouse leaves as well. That way you can take advantage of that if you want to. Another thing that is really important to do before your spouse leaves is get a power of attorney. This basically lets you act as them. So if you need to do taxes or something like that, you are able to provide your signature in place of his. I mean, I've had to give a power of attorney to somebody before because the bill was only in Brad's name and they wouldn't let me pay the bill. Like, I had the bill, how much needed to be paid. I just wanted to pay it. Like, I didn't need to know any information, and they still made me fax in a power of attorney. So I definitely recommend getting a power of attorney, just that way in case something comes up where you need to take care of something and he's obviously not able to sign something or call somebody or whatever it may be. It just lets you take care of it all, basically. Okay, so almost done. I've got 2 little tips and tricks left. This is probably my biggest one that was a huge lifesaver to me for the last deployment, but it was having a schedule and a routine. When your spouse is gone, and especially if you have young children as well, it's kind of easy to just do whatever, but everything functions so much more easily if you do things at the same time every day. So like lunchtime, snack time, bedtime, things like that. This basically helps you with just making sure that you get out of the house, kind of do what you need to do. So I know for me personally, having a schedule and a routine really helps me be productive. When I get up in the morning and I don't get changed, I basically stay in my PJs all day. However, if I get up and then get dressed right away, I am a lot more productive with my day. I get a lot of stuff done. I feel like I might as well, I'm already dressed, kind of a thing. So when I stay in my PJs all day, I don't do anything. So yeah, it is my routine to get up, get dressed, and then I go wake my kids up for school, because if I don't, I'll sit on my butt on the couch all day long. And I do think it's really important for you to get out of the house at least once a day, you know, if the weather permits, but even just taking a walk down. Sorry if you guys can hear the garbage truck going by, it's very squeaky. But going for a walk, you know, just even around the block is good for you. You don't want to be cooped up in the house all the time. I know how that feels, and just don't do that. And then my last tip is, if you need to have a bad day, take a bad day. Take a day to do absolutely nothing. Eat a pint of ice cream, cry your heart out, watch sappy, sad movies, and have your little pity party of a day, because indulging in that every once in a while is healthy for you. You don't want to keep all those feelings in. You don't want to get stressed to the max. So I definitely recommend, if you really need to have a down day, have a down day. But then the next day, you gotta pick yourself up and get back on your routine. But definitely indulge in those days when you think you need them. It is important. All right, guys, that is all of my tips and tricks. Hopefully you heard something in here that will help you and your deployment process go smoothly. If I didn't mention something that you thought helped you a lot during a deployment, please leave a comment down below so others can read them as well. And yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.